Michael Jackson is rolling in his grave. Recently, the Michael Jackson biopic has dropped, and the streets are divided. On one hand, critics are bombing on this film, and on the other hand, the people are loving it. So me and Zay recently we watched the Michael Jackson movie, and we are
Yep.
excited to talk about it, to say the least, man. Zay, what were your initial reactions with this movie that came out?
You guys don't know this, but we recorded a pod a couple months ago that didn't come out. And on that pod, we talked with some friends, some guests of ours that you guys have seen on the Project Hail Mary pod. We talked about the upcoming Michael movie. And because the trailer had just came out. So there was a little buzz about it. I know the trailer did numbers. And I'm gonna be honest, when I watched the trailer, I'll say I was optimistic about the upcoming film coming up. And I think it was me and Billy, we were kind of on that pod like defending the movie's honor a little bit, kind of saying like, hey, maybe this movie will be good. You never know, it could come out and like kind of shock you. So, lo and behold, the film comes out, and when I tell you every expectation we had, it completely and spectacularly failed. Besides Jafar Jackson
You
being
know,
like
wait, no,
the
hold on,
great
time out, because
performance he was.
we are on record saying, yo, we're excited for this film, but we know it's gonna be dog shit. Like we said that every time we mentioned this film, it was for me personally. I remember saying I love Michael Jackson. I'm excited for this film, but I know it's gonna be dog shit. Let me enjoy my dog shit, and that did come true. Like this is a dog shit biopic, but as a fan of Michael Jackson, I'm with the people rating it 5 stars. I'm like, nah, yo, I'm here, yo. Human Nature, Thriller, Beat It, yo. I was singing along in the theater. Like it was a great experience to be like, hey, this is Michael Jackson on screen, and I'm enjoying him.
Yeah, man, and that's exactly what it is. It depends on what you're looking for when you go into this movie. Me personally, when I bought the tickets for a movie, I'm expecting to see a movie. You know what I mean? I'm
No,
expecting to see the parts of a movie like character development, maybe some
for
arcs,
sure.
maybe some, depth behind the eyes of the actors.
And there was none of
And you
that. It
go
was
into
none
the
of that.
movie and it's a concert. You're like,
Literally,
no bullshit, no bullshit. I felt like the movie could not go 5 seconds without playing a little. Hey, here's a Michael Jackson song to remind you how good he was at making music.
yo, you know what's
Don't worry
crazy,
about,
bro? You know what's
don't
crazy?
worry about
I
how
said
good
that.
the film is.
I said that to some other people. I was like, this is the downfall of having the rights to the person you're doing the biopic about, because they would do needle drops, and they would do not even needle drops. So you know how the movie has a score, and they'll
Yeah,
like play a score during sad parts, play a score during like inspirational parts. They were just remixing Michael Jackson songs during those parts. So it like took you out of it, because Michael Jackson is such like this iconic person.
you
All
good?
of his songs you attach meaning to. So when you try to do an orchestra version of it, to be like, oh look, Michael is sad. Oh look, Michael's being inspirational. It immediately takes you out of it. Like that's the part that
No,
fried me the most. Is
no
you
bullshit. We are
overdid the
not lying
music.
to y'all. We are not lying to y'all. There is a scene where Nia Long, who plays the mom. She's like consoling Michael in his time of need, and this is like one of the moments in the story where there's like a time jump after this because we jump to Michael being like older, him getting ready to release Don't Stop Till the what's the name of that album? The first album that you dropped?
Off the wall.
Yeah, getting ready to release Off the Wall. There's a time jump after this. And during the scene while you're supposed to be feeling sad for Michael, they start playing the music. They start playing like Mama Say Mama Sama Maku San. You're like,
Bro,
what?
it's insane. It's the most insane
What?
thing ever, yo. Bro, they literally the entire film is just them setting up moments for like fans to be like, "Oh shit, oh shit."
Yeah.
Literally, I remember there's one scene, bro, and it fries me to this day. It was when Michael met Bubbles. Like he finally got Bubbles, and like the monkey comes out and everything like that. And then somebody's like, "Yo, like, but like, why a monkey?" And Michael's like, "You know, monkeys, they're really sensitive to feelings. You know, they do good vibes and bad ones." And like it just cuts to Joe. And everybody's like looking at Joe. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is
I
What is
thought, yo,
happening?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were setting up a ending of the movie where the monkey like kills Joe or something like that, like some type of comeuppance like that.
Don't even get me started about the ending. Don't even get me started about the ending. They Avengers Doomsday the ending. They were like, yo, they
That
were
was
like, yo,
so special, bro.
Michael Jackson will return. Huh? Like,
His story continues.
what?
What? What are we doing?
Yo, that jump fried me. It fried me so much,
You
bro.
know,
Cause
you
I'm
know what
sitting
was
here.
crazy about the ending and why it felt so out of place? Because they had an actual ending. Like, and then they just add another scene like it's an encore. They just add another scene for no reason. They had the actual ending where he, is telling the people at the concert, like, yo, I'm never doing this Jackson 5 shit again.
Yo,
I'm
never
going
doing
on
the
a solo
Jackson 5
tour.
shit.
And that's supposed to be the end of our arc. And then we get this whole other epilogue where he's just doing the bad song for no, just because they want you to
Yo,
be front row seat at a
literally,
concert,
you
bro.
know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Arguably, not even the best song on that album. He's
Not,
just performing the most random song on that album. I know it's called like the bad album, but nobody goes to the bad album for the bad song. Like nobody does that, yo. He's just performing bullshit at the end just to continue the fanfare, and that's essentially what this movie was. Like the when I watched this film, I understand why Paris Jackson had an issue with it. I understand why Janet Jackson didn't want to be involved in it because all of this was literally just an opportunity to boost Michael Jackson's legacy in a way that took away from his individual story, took away from who he was as a human, and propped up who we wanted him to be. If that makes sense, like this movie is perfect for the legend of Michael Jackson, but don't call it a biopic when we know nothing about the man Michael Jackson. Everything that we could have known was touched on so surface level that you might as well not even talked about it. Like there's a scene in a movie where he's going to go get his nose job. And he's like, the doctor's like, yo, are you on any medication? And then Michael's like, yeah, I am for my vitiligo. And it's like, okay, well, let's talk about how maybe that affected his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different things where there was a scene in the movie where he went to the toy store, he came back, he's like, brothers, let's play, and they're like, nah, bro, we about to go like hang out with women. We have dates to go on. And he's like, oh, you guys are no fun. And then he's just like keeps switching. It's like, bro, you didn't explore any of the things that make Michael Jackson the man who he is. But what you did do is you propped up this commercialized, sanitized version of him. So anybody that's introduced to him now, like I think you said this in maybe the Project Hail Mary pod or something. Or maybe we were talking on Discord, but the 8-year-old who gets introduced to Michael Jackson through this movie is gonna love Michael. And they're gonna
yeah.
be like, yo, this is an amazing guy. And then they're gonna grow up and find out all the things about him. This is perfect for that 8-year-old. But as a grown man who has never left his Michael Jackson phase, I need more. Like I need tell me everything, bro. Like it just didn't do that.
That's the one thing that was really disappointing about this film. Michael Jackson, the character, has like little depth, and it's not even due to Jafar Jackson not being good as an actor, because his performance in this film as Michael Jackson, one of the best like biopic performances I've watched. And I can understand how I remember the social media reactions that came out like 2 weeks before this film debuted, and people were like, oh, best biopic ever, this is the best movie I've ever seen. And I'm like, I can understand how you come out of that film thinking that, just because Jafar Jackson was that good in the Michael Jackson role. But if you ask the film to like present ideas and then develop that over the course of like 2 hours, it develops nothing. There are things that it
Nothing.
presents in the beginning of the film, like Michael Jackson being overworked as a kid and his father
For sure.
overworking him, and that being a result of his father feeling overworked. They said his father worked at a steel mill. There was no like
Yeah.
exploration of these ideas. There was no like, well,
Of
how
any
does
of
that
that.
result to the end of the film? And it's like these just feel like scenes just jumbled together and kind of put together, because the rest of the movie doesn't give a fuck about where what the beginning of the movie said. It's
At
just trying
all.
to show you that Michael
At all.
Jackson was kind of Jesus a
Every
little bit.
every scene, every single scene in this movie is giving you just barely enough background information for an excuse to like show them performing something. Like it's literally setting up like a needle drop. Every scene is setting up a performance. Every scene is setting up a moment where you're supposed to say, "Holy shit!" Like you said, Michael Jackson is Jesus. That's every scene in here. None of the scenes are narrative driven. None of the scenes provide a story that gets you enthralled. Like going into this film, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had no expectations of it because I understand that biopics recently haven't been that good. Like when people talk about bad biopics, a lot of Queen fans bring up Bohemian Rhapsody about how they like whitewashed that and like glossed over a bunch of those. Like we're in an era where biopics are not a good genre of movie. So I understood that going into the film. But for you to completely abandon any story structure just to glaze Michael
Hmm.
fries me to the umpth degree. When the things that could be addressed have the ability to create such an amazing movie. There was a thing that came out that said that there was a 4 hour version of this film, but because of legal issues, because of people dropping out, because of the family estate being involved, it had to be whittled down to like an hour and 50, which is like, yo, release the 4 hour version. Because if the 4 hour version gives us an actual narrative, gives us scenes that make sense, then that's the version I want to see, not this glorified like YouTube doc. This could have been this somebody on YouTube could have made this.
This movie is just very, very, very disappointing. Just for us, us two just being like Michael Jackson fans, and while also realizing that Michael Jackson had faults. I think that's probably the biggest thing about this movie is that it infantilizes Michael, and there are things that we just don't get to see. Like his brothers, what are his opinion on Michael? What Tito, Jermaine, all these characters are in the film, and they probably have about like 2 lines max. Like I don't remember a single line that the. Can you remember one thing that the brother said? Maybe two,
Not a
Michael.
single
Maybe
thing.
besides like the sex thing and the little sex joke that they had. I don't know. They didn't really explore these
Literally,
characters for real.
it felt like every dialogue towards Mike was, "Oh man, come on, Mike. Oh well, you know Mike." Like it felt like one of them type
Mike, you're a
Jones. Like
genius.
oh well, we knew Mike was gonna do that. Like the only people that had actual lines was Joe and his mother, and his
Yeah.
mother's lines were basically reduced to, "Oh my, I am Michael's confidant, and I'm the parent that Michael comes to," and so like her lines were representative of that, and then all of Joe's lines were just like, "Well, I'm this nigga that's taking advantage of him," when in reality, both of these characters, as flawed as they are, both of these people in real life have a level of depth to them that like you could have explored. Like, sure, Michael's mom is a confidant and like this beacon of light, but not enough is said about how like as much as she may have protested the way that Joe acted, she was still right along with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like she was still with the idea of being like, well, this is what we're doing. We're a musical family. And with Joe, there's so much things that could be explored with Joe where it's like his aggressiveness and his abusive behavior came from a place of fear. Came from a place of I do not want my children, I do not want to give my children a life where they're going to be forced to work at a steel mill all day. And I know as a black man in the 60s and the 70s, we have to work 5 times as hard to get a morsel of what white people have at that time. Like that could be thoroughly explored. We just didn't. We just presented Joe as this big bad, presented his mother as this like angel, and kept it pushing.
One of my final takeaways that I got, like just walking out of this movie and feeling so like soulless, is that ultimately biopics, there's too many cooks in the kitchen for biopics. There's too many people whose images will be affected by telling the truth of these stories and by telling like actually
Yes.
interesting stories. So I think we should just keep it to what Prince did, where Prince played himself in that film, but it was like a fake artist, but it was
Yeah.
basically Prince. But it had,
I mean,
everybody, everything
Prince
in it
did
was
it.
fake
Prince did it
because,
in Purple Rain.
yeah,
Eminem did it in 8 Mile. 50 Cent did it in Get Rich or Die Trying. Like they played these versions of themselves. Where if you look at them, because we understand that they are playing characters, we do not have the expectations of this being accurate to their life. So we're able to appreciate the story that much more. You know what I'm saying? But when
yeah,
you
and
have it to where
there's
this is, nah, go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say there's like just the things that we were missing in terms of like the Diana Ross story, how much that affected Michael.
For sure.
The effect that Quincy Jones had on his production. I thought that it was
Bro,
insane
oh
that
my God.
I thought that it was insane that the movie basically told us that Michael was the reason for all of his music being so good, all of his images being so good, his music videos, Michael directed those, like everything that Michael did and Michael had, all the talent that he had, it was all him creating that. And I just thought that it was so inaccurate and kind of disrespectful to the people that helped him get where he got.
To the people around him. But not only that, this is crazy because when I was watching the scenes between him and Quincy, they didn't give us enough background to how they met. So he just appeared in the film, and that's one of the critiques I have of this film, where I feel like they think because it's Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson is so iconic, that the fans can do the heavy lifting of the narrative and heavy lifting of the story,
Yeah,
which I feel like was just the wrong way to go about it. Because when they were doing the Quincy scenes, me knowing the story, me understanding who Quincy is to Michael, I'm looking at these scenes, I'm like, what are they like? This feels mad sensual. Are they gay? Like, what is happening, yo? Like, where's like what is it? Literally felt, bro, because the nigga who played Quincy was just mad, like, yo, yeah, Michael, do this, yo, yeah, and I'm like, what is happening on my screen right now? What is going on? But yeah, with no, they like I said, bro, they expected the fans to do the heavy lifting, and a lot of them did. If you're a fan of Michael Jackson, you want to see Jafar play Michael Jackson, this is the movie for you because he
yeah,
bodied it. There were multiple scenes where I was like, holy shit, this nigga might be Michael Jackson. Like,
yeah.
there was
Bro, there
multiple
was certain
scenes, bro.
angles. I'm like, yo, this. Did they
Bro,
reincarnate
they
this
hit
nigga?
yo.
Like,
There were certain
holy
angles where he did not look like Michael at all. But
yeah.
then there were some where you were like, wait a minute, this nigga might be
Yo, when
Michael
he turns
Jackson.
back in the bad scene with the hair and the, I'm like, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no
He
way. He
might be
genuinely
Michael.
looked like Michael, bro. That shit was
The
nuts.
scene that sold it to me the most though with Jafar's performance was the beat it scene. That's the scene that sold it
Yeah,
to me
that
the
was it.
most.
Honestly, that's a great scene. That's a great scene just to show you like
An
how good
amazing scene.
Jafar is at like what he's doing. Great scene.
Because the way he was doing the move was like, even because the whole scene was him practicing the beat it choreography in front of everybody and stuff like that. And the
Yeah.
way he did the movements, the way he was doing everything, I was like, nah, this nigga is bodying it.
But
He
you know what's
he put in
crazy?
the work. He deserved the role. Go ahead.
As I'm saying that's a great scene, I remember the movie immediately fried me again after that scene because we had the Thriller music video, I'm pretty sure. And I was just watching this. I'm like, guys, Michael was not like the director. Like why are we acting like Michael was the director of these music videos and that every single good idea for the music videos came from Michael? Like correct me if I'm wrong, but he worked with Stanley Kubrick on the music videos, right?
For Thriller specifically, I want to say no.
Or was it
I want to say
Carpenter?
Spielberg.
Was it Carpenter?
Oh no, this guy named John Landis.
John Landis?
Yeah, but if you so not a big name to people who are like, oh, who is John Landis? But if you watch all of the behind the scenes footage of that time period and them creating Thriller together, you can see that like Michael is somebody who has a vision. And I'm not taking that away from Michael Jackson at all. He has a vision, he has a way that he wants to do things. But
Yeah,
Michael is really good at surrounding himself with people who know how to do things better than him. Any great creative, any great person in the world understands I am not good at such and such. I need to surround myself with people who are better at that than me. And Michael did that to a T. Quincy Jones, Rod Temperton, like the way that they were involved in the Thriller project. And then you have the people who helped directed like John Landis, the way that they were involved in making these music videos come to life should have been highlighted in a way that it wasn't. And I understand this is a Michael Jackson biopic. The goal of a biopic is to be like, hey, look at how great this person is. I get that. I understand that. But as fans, as people who love movies, as people who love Michael Jackson, I just feel like we could have did a better job at exploring this from a story perspective and a film perspective rather than, oh, we just need to put something out to boost Michael Jackson sales.
yeah. Last thing, I just want them to stop lying to us. You know, the cast and crew of this movie, stop lying to us. you are not going to do the allegations in a way that is like that makes sense and like handles it with care, because some of the scenes in this movie where like they act like Michael was like a savior for kids is very disgusting. All right, that's all I want to say. I know y'all are like he beat the case. He did beat the case. But like
First of all,
you
no, no,
need
no, no,
to.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because while I understand that they glazed over a lot of things that they could have add depth to, and they greenlit a part two already, duh.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to do the allegations any justice. I don't even know if they can legally talk about the allegations. I think that was one of the issues
Yeah.
that was brought up earlier. But in this version of the movie, him going to the hospital, him doing all the things that he did, him signing, he did all that stuff in real life. Like, let's not use the allegations to pretend as if he didn't want to prop himself as a savior to children. Like, that was his entire goal and his entire mantra. So him going to the hospital, talking to the kids, him being like, "Oh, I'm at the toy store. Let me just sign everything and buy shit for y'all." That is what he did in real life. So let's not do that.
But that's all my thoughts on that. I thought it was terrible. The movie's really bad. Unless you
Yo,
are looking for a concert,
dog
like
shit
you
of a
said.
movie. Yeah,
You said
dog
what?
shit of a movie. But Jafar Jackson, I think outside of Michael Jackson roles, I do want to. I am interested in seeing him in other things. I don't know what other things look like for him. I've seen a
Yeah, I was
lot of
about to say.
fan
You think he's gonna
casting.
do other movies after this?
Well, I've seen fan casting of him playing the prince and Princess and the Frog. So
Eh,
he could branch off into like some Disney shit, some Disney musical shit, like or go into like Broadway or something like that. But I do think that Jafar needs to do more acting things. Um, but that's it. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if he's gonna go that way, but I hope he does. Let's go Nepo babies. Am I right?